Now, the first thing we need to do is to create two tabs. So this would be the main tab, and I'll show you how to do this. And the second one is a tables tab. Don't worry about the colors. We can tell you how to do it later on if you're interested. But here I have two tables, one with a month, because we'll be selecting the month using a drop-down menu, and same for the year. So that's something that you need to do. This is your homework. Then we go and build a bit of a skeleton here for the task list. So you, on the left-hand side, if you could build a table with 4 columns, I'm suggesting to put the task name on the left, allowing more room, obviously, a date, count for that day. So this is optional, but I'll show you how you can calculate how many other tasks are also on that day. And this is a completion status. So the completion status, depending on the version of Excel that you have, you put insert checkbox here. If you have this, that probably means you have Excel 365. If you don't, you can create a flag yes, no. This is where you will be selecting your month and year. So how to do this? We go under, we select the cell under the month. We go under data. We go under data validation, and we want to select a list. And we click on the source, and this is where we go back on our table, and we select the 12 months here. So now when we go here, we can select a month. The year, you got it, exactly the same. Data validation, list, source, tables, all this. And here I can put, for instance, 2027. Okay, so and under, I would like you to build this. So it's 5 sets of rows, but let's have a look at the headings first. So the headings are a number from 1 to 7, and this is this is depending on the day where you want to start. So for instance here, Sunday will always be 1. So if you start your week with a Sunday, so this is hard-coded, you put 1 on top. But if you are like me and your week start on Monday, then you would put a Monday here on the left. But I know a lot of people use Sunday, especially in the States, so I'm just going to skip to Sunday here. So you should have the allocated month number on the top. Sunday 1, Monday always 2, Tuesday 3. Then you can gray out the top of the columns there, and after this will show you the tasks for that day. So obviously there's not that much room, but let's try and keep the task name short because we want to have an overview. So here, for instance, I have selected 6 tasks only for each day. And you do that 5 times because month going to be obviously have 31 days, so you would need 5 for the 31-day month. Okay, so once you have this, what you want to do is you want to calculate two cells here. So the first one, I want to calculate the first day of the month. In order to do this, I'm using the date function in Excel, where I select the year that we have here, and I select the month that we have selected, and then as a day I put 1. That will give me the first day of the month. You could say, Ben, thank you very much. What a useful function. I know that the first of the month is 1st of March, but hang on a minute, be patient, because that will be using later on, which is now, to calculate which weekday it is. Weekday, serial number, which is this, and that should tell you that the 1st March 2027 will be a 2, and a 2 is a Monday. And we'll be using this to calculate our headings here to see where the day, where the 1st of May will be putting. Actually, in this instance here, the 1st of May will be Monday, so it should be here. So the first thing we want to do is we want to give a bit of colors here. So I'll be selecting the heading, and I just will be putting a deep blue for the heading. I'm using the standard Microsoft palette here, the deep blue here as a fill, and obviously I will be using the font as white. Okay, for the rest of the task list, I will be using the same blue, but obviously the very light one. And then I'll be doing the same on the right-hand side. For actually the first row, I will be using the same blue for the first week, I should say. And then I will be doing the same using various colors. So there's always a deep one. With the exception of this one, actually, the purple is always stronger than the other. So for this one, I don't take the top one, I take the third one. And then I will be doing this for the rest of the calendar. Okay, now let's populate the first week, the date of the first week. So here I've put April 2026, and I've already tapped in a formula, so I can walk you through it now because the formula for the first week is different than the others. So I have a nested ifs here, which is a new version of a nested ifs. IFS allows you to put several conditions in a row. So the first condition is I'm checking if the first day of the month here that we say that's number 4, if it's the same as the one above. So if it's the same as the one above here, then I'll put this date because I know we are bingo on the first day of the month. So here, for instance, I had 4 at the top, and we know it's a 4, so that will go here. If I change this to say May, it's the 6, so that will match this. So that this is how we populate it. The second condition is we check if there is already a date on the left. If there is already a date on the left, we just add 1. So here, for instance, there was no date on the left, and if the first condition is not met, we'll just leave it to 0. Because this is a third condition. In all other instances, we put 0. So quick summary. First, we check if this number matches the one on top. If it doesn't, and if there is something on the left, we add 1. And then in all the other cases, we put 0 here. So I hope this is clear. And for the other weeks, it's easier. So the first day, we take the day that was in the last column, and we add 1. Take this, the previous column, and add 1. I added a group of weeks just to catch up for the 31 days when the first day of the month is a Friday or a Saturday. Sometimes we do run out of room. Okay, and here what I do is I just add 1 here to the one on the left, and I do that for the rest of the week. Okay, I've added some tasks. Now, the first thing we want to calculate is we want to know how many counts there is for the day. When you put a task here and you put a date, you might be interested to see how many other tasks are for the same day. So here, I'm just using the countif function countif. And the range that I'll be selecting will be this one here, and I will be locking it. So I'll be pressing F4 to make sure that it's always the same range as we go down the table here. And the criteria is equal to the date on the left, and that we don't want to press F4, we want to leave it as it is. And here I'm pressing Enter. And I'm going down the column here. So here, I've just added a conditional formatting, actually. A conditional formatting that you might want to add is a data bar here. And I've selected this blue here. No, this blue here, the first blue. So solid fill data bars here. Now we can finally start to populate those tasks in the appropriate days. Okay, in order to do that, I'm using the filter function. And the filter function, first you need to select what you want to bring back. So what I want to bring back is those tasks. Pressing F4. And here you have 2 conditions. In Excel, when you have 2 conditions with an AND, you need to do the multiply sign, which we will see soon. So the first condition is I want to make sure that those tasks here, pressing F4 to lock it in, are existing. There is something there, otherwise it's going to calculate also for the date of 0. So not blank, not equal to blank. So this is the first condition. The second condition is that we want to check if the date here, pressing F4, is equal to the date that is just right above, which is this one here. I'm pressing the thing here, and I think the last component of the filter function is to say that it hasn't found anything, so I would just put no here, just so that we know how it works. So here, what do we have? There is a bit of a problem, 835, 835, K8. So is equal to K8, maybe that's it. So this is what I did wrong. I forgot to put the equal here. So this is it. So now if I drag that along, that should work, famous last words. And now that I've demonstrated the no here, you don't really need to put it. I just wanted to show when it doesn't find anything, it just brings back the no. So here I can remove and I can just leave blank. Because if I don't put blank here, it's gonna show something strange like calc or something like this. So this is it. So we have this. Now that we've locked everything here, we can just copy this, and here we can. No, not this one. What are you doing, Ben? You just select this where you have all the filters. Just this one. Third time lucky. And here I'm right-clicking, and I'm just going to paste the formula only. Right-click, paste the formula. So here you have the first days of the next month, which I think is a nice touch. So I've added, as mentioned, I've added a 6 week here because when the first day of the month is a Saturday or a Friday, there's not enough room if you have 31 days. Okay, let's just put some dates here. Let's say the 23rd of March. Yes, it's working here. Okay, so this is to populate that. Now I want to add something. I want to add a tick when the task is completed. I could add, I could do some conditional formatting here if you like. Conditional formatting, new rule. I was not really planning to do this, but I'm just thinking, why not? What is the rule that I want here? If the tick here, remove, is equal to true, then what do I want to do? Let's say I want to put a Strikethrough font. I want to put a Strikethrough. Okay, just put the Strikethrough here. So when this is completed, once it's true, this is completed. It's put Strikethrough. I don't know if you like it or not. If you don't need to put it. But I want to show it here as well when it's completed. So what I want to do is I want to add a tick at the end of the task. Or I could add it at the beginning. We'll see. Insert symbol here. I'm on the Aptos arrow, and here, if you drag and look at the symbol, you see this tick here. So I'm just going to insert it this way so I can refer to it later on. Actually, I'm just going to copy it. So it's in my copy stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to add another colon here, and I'm just going to say if the task here is completed, I mean, which if this is true, I want to have the concatenate the task name and what I have copied there, the tick at the end. Actually, we said we will do the tick first, actually. The tick, and actually I'm going to add a blank. And just put the end and the task. Otherwise, just the task. Okay, so when it's completed, it adds the tick at the front. Okay, so here I'm just going to put that here. So this column doesn't need to be shown. Actually, it might be best if it's not shown. So, when I want to hide columns without using the hide here, because sometimes it really hides it, it's hard to see. I would just like to prefer to go under data outline and press on group here, and then it can disappear this way. But for the time being, I'm just going to leave it. So if you want those ticks, the change that you have to do is you have to go through everything, and instead of selecting this column, you select that column, okay? So here, for instance, I want to make sure that the test, that the selected column tracks back this one here. So you see it's reporting it 2 now. Okay, so you can just drag that back. Let's see if you have a few ticks here. Should show you with the ticks. It's quite good, isn't it? And obviously you need to do the same for all the other here. You need to do the same for the rest of the calendar, obviously. Here, just going to do it for this one here. And then you do that for all the others. So this is pretty much it. You do this here. This, for instance, doesn't need to be shown either as well. You can hide it somewhere. You can put it on the side. This you can hide it the same way we've done for that. If you want to add, obviously, a title, you can. Staying with the blue, or you want to go with the, I don't know. And you can merge and center if you like, and just put a white font and say task list. Center it. If you want to find a more exciting font, I don't know if I don't know if this is more exciting or not, but that's all the rage on HC. Now this is a simplified version. If you have more than 6 tasks here, you'll get into trouble. So, but it's more complicated the formula is more complicated, and you have to go through more steps. So if you want to learn how to do this, you can check out my other video tutorial. But there is also something else that you can do, is you can have recurring tasks. And this is also on my other video. I've had comments that sometimes my tutorial are just too complex, too complicated. So this is what I'm trying to make everyone happy. I have some simpler one like this one, which is already quite powerful. And then I'm doing some more complex one for people who really want to sit down. And as always, you always have the possibility to purchase for a few dollars those templates if you want to help. But this one, I don't think I'll put it in a shop. I'll have the other more complex version in a shop. Anyway, so this is it. Thank you for being here.